The following segment has been brought to you by NDT Clash Rapping plus VHS.
Welcome back, folks, to part 4. If you haven't seen part 1, 2, and 3, I will link those videos in the description below. This is continuance of the VHS big box haul here. This is part 4. Let's get right down to it and let's start right back over again. Let's go with it. We have Clifford. Clifford with Martin Short in it. Yep. Martin Short and Clifford. Next up we have Getting Even with Dad. Getting Even with Dad. Macaulay Culkin and Ted Danson. Getting Even with Dad. Next up we have Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Scared Stupid with Jim Varney. Ernest Scared Stupid. You gotta go Ernest. I like everything he's done. Like everything he's done. Next up we have Rodney Dangerfield in Ladybugs. 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 Next up we have Phantasm. Phantasm Part 2. Phantasm Part 2. Phantasm Part 2. Next up we have Snow Dogs. Snow Dogs. Keaton Coven Jr. Snow Dogs. Next up we have All I Want for Christmas. 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 If I can just get it out. All I want for you a Christmas, baby. Tie a ribbon around yourself. Yes. Next up, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Good old Texas Chainsaw Part 2. Next up, we have Almost an Angel with Paul Hogan, I think is his name. Yeah, Paul Hogan. The Crocodile Dundee. Almost an Angel. I always enjoyed that film from Paul. Almost an Angel. Next up, we have Encino Man. Encino Man with Brendan Fraser. Pauly Shore. Encino Man. Next up we have The Bonfire of Vanities. The Bonfire of Vanities with Tom Hanks. Bonfire of Vanities. Bonfire of Vanities. Next up we have Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred. No Holds Barred. No Holds Barred. No Holds Barred. And last but not least, this continues the box. I believe it is over, folks. This is it. And what do we have last but not least? We have Strange Brew with Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis and Strange Brew. Good, great classic. Good old Strange Brew. Good old Strange Brew. Well, folks, that wraps this segment up. Part 4. Like I said, if you want to check the other parts 1, part 2, part 3, I will link all those videos in the description below. Check those out of this big box full of VHS haul. That wraps this segment up from NDT NDT Clex Wrestling Plus VHS.
This segment was brought to you by NDT Clex Wrestling plus VHS.